So good morning friends, welcome to Raj Malhotra IAS. So guys, here we are about to start the session. The PDF has already been uploaded and I will be just sharing the link. Okay, so here we are connected and light. Happy Gurpurab to everyone. चलिए तो सीधा मुद्दे पे आते हैं and let's start the session. So as you can see on the screen, these are the words of Nelson Mandela. He says that forgiveness liberates the soul, it removes the fear. That is why it is one of the powerful weapons. Why forgiveness is important for us? Because if you are angry with someone and someone has done wrong to you, it will take up your mind, it will take up the space in your memory, and you continue to think about it. You end up wasting more time. आप उसके बारे में सोचते रहोगे और आपका ज़्यादा टाइम वेस्ट होगा. So you have to liberate your mind to think something new. कुछ नया सोचने के लिए दिमाग का खुलना बहुत ज़रूरी है. So forgive the person and you move ahead in your life to come out with something new, some new thoughts which can be useful for you. Now there are individuals who may be having, you can say, grudge against others. दूसरों के against grudge होता है. Now grudge can be continued. आप continue करते रहो. The point is this: you are wasting your own energy, because the same amount of time and the memory, the brain that you could have used for your own benefit, you ended up thinking about that person. सबके पास टाइम लिमिट है. आप अपना टाइम कुछ नया करने में लगा सकते हो, अपने डिफरेंसेस को दूर करके, और या आप अपने सेम टाइम को किसी के बारे में सोच के भी वेस्ट कर सकते हो. सो दैट्स व्हाई इफ यू आर फॉरगिविंग समवन, इट विल लिबरेट योर सोल. You will feel magnanimous, and that's why it's a powerful weapon. Now forgiving others is not an easy task. Mahatma Gandhi has said that it requires a lot of courage to forgive others, and it is not the attribute, or you can say quality, of a weak person. If someone is forgiving other, it means that that person is very strong. This is the point here. So it shows that you are a very strong person, and if you are forgiving someone, that's why it's a very powerful weapon. So let's move to this particular, you can say, session here. So this was the first thing that was there on today's newspaper. तो मैं आपको दिखा भी देता हूँ आज के अखबार में क्या खास है. Governor alleges the constitutional collapse in Kerala. Now you need to understand one thing. What is this constitutional collapse? Okay, the problem in this system is we haven't defined this constitutional collapse. Basically, governor produces a report under article 356. Okay, under article 356 a report is produced by governor, and based on that president rule can be imposed. उस रिपोर्ट के बेस पे आप president rule लगा सकते हो. Okay, so you have article 356, and based on that president rule can be imposed. Now the point is this president rule can be imposed only in the case where constitutional machinery is failing. Constitutional machinery is failing. Now governor here is saying that constitutional machinery is collapsing because the state government of Kerala is not allowing the, you can say, the choice of governor to be the vice chancellor of the university. This is the point here. Kerala government want a particular person to be the vice chancellor of university. Governor wants another person to be the vice chancellor of the university. So they both are contradicting with each other. Now that's why governor is saying this is the beginning of collapse of constitutional machinery. कि भी constitutional machinery यहाँ collapse हो रही कि नहीं हो रही है, we don't know, because this is the new type of issue that is coming up. Now it had happened in the past as well. Kerala के केस में नहीं, कहीं और भी ऐसा हुआ है. Normally governor is the ex officio chancellor of universities in the state. जिस स्टेट के गवर्नर साहब हैं उन स्टेट के अंदर ही इज द एक्स ऑफिशियो चांसलर ऑफ यूनिवर्सिटी. We also know that governor, while coming up in his functions, he has to act based on the aid and advice of council of minister. अब ये भी हमें पता है कि council of minister की aid and advice के हिसाब से चलना है. But specifically while dealing with universities, as a chancellor he can act independently of the council of minister. But now we have to look into whether the chancellor has the power to appoint vice chancellor. अब डिबेट है क्या वाकई चांसलर के पास ये पावर है कि वो वाइस चांसलर को अपॉइंट करे. दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव टू लुक इनटू, एंड इन माय ओपिनियन दिस माइट गो टू द कोर्ट. दिस विल अगेन अ मेजर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल इशू. ये जरूर कोर्ट के अंदर जा सकता है बिकॉज दे आर कॉन्ट्राडिक्टिंग विद ईच अदर. सो दैट्स द मेजर पॉइंट. Normally as a chancellor, the powers and functions of governor are quite laid out in the statutes. Things are quite clear, okay, and it varies from state to state. State governments, they do come out with their own law and all. But when it comes to role in appointing the vice chancellor, it often triggers the dispute. इस चीज को लेके कोई clarity नहीं है. So we have to, you can say, wait for the time. If it is going to be a major crisis, there will be a debate on that. जरूर इसके ऊपर debate होगी, तब जाके कुछ clarity आएगी. But majorly this is a major issue. Okay, now why I am saying this? What's the solution to this? See, only the political majority can resolve this type of issue. Both governor as well as the state government, it is required that at their end they need to show the political majority. अगर political majority है तो इस चीज को भी easily आप deal कर सकते हो. Let's move to the other news. Supreme Court in a majority verdict upholds the EWS quota. Okay. Now they said that 10% reservation to the poorest of the poor among the forward caste does not affect basic structure of the constitution. This is what has been declared. Okay. It is a 3-2 judgment. 3 judges were in favor that there is no problem in this 10% reservation based for the forward caste. Okay. कोई problem नहीं है इसके अंदर. And but 2 judges were still of some, you can say, skepticism, and they were against it. Okay. Now the debate is this: it is based on economic criteria. If it is based on economic criteria, there could be a scenario where SC, ST person or OBC person, he may be under EWS. ये भी तो EWS के अंडर आ सकते हैं, economically weaker section के अंदर, if they are earning less money. So that was the major debate, that why did you remove them, that this particular arrangement of 103rd, you can say, Constitution Amendment Act, it completely excluded the other communities. This is what was debated here. ये majorly यहाँ पे debate हो रहा था, and Supreme Court has clarified it that there is no issue in that. What's the logic behind it? They said that first of all, this idea of reservation is not just confined to SC, ST and OBC community, it is for all the weaker sections. And they have said that EWS, okay, from general caste, they are part of weaker section now. जो EWS है and who are from forward caste, they will also be included in weaker section. So it has created another category of, you can say, people. एक अलग category बन गई है यहाँ पे. This is what the court has said, and already court has said that they, like, for SCs there is a separate arrangement, for STs there is separate arrangement, for OBCs there is separate arrangement. In this is also a separate category. As simple as that, and that's why this separate arrangement for EWS from the forward caste, it is quite valid. This is the logic given by the Supreme Court here. Okay, ये major logic है, and there is this news, okay, that was there. So we have to be very serious about, you can say, climate change and all, because whatever we are doing, that appears to be less sufficient. Okay, so this is what it is. So cooperate or perish, this is what like things are moving on. Now the point is this: look at the scenario right now. currently what are the major issues around it? Okay, major issues that we have, that Ukraine Russia war is going on, and this has impacted the global economy. As this has impacted the global economy, the focus was diverted from climate change to these particular issues. Now, priority for the whole world right now is to deal with the economic crisis, to deal with Ukraine Russia war as early as possible. बिल्कुल ये चीज यहाँ पे possible है. Okay. Now the point is this: what should be the way out in this scenario? See, these wars, these events are going to be settled at a particular time. But if you are going to miss the window for climate change, then it is going to be disastrous for us, because this climate change issue, it creates irreversible impacts, things that cannot be changed. Things are irreversible after that. Okay, so you cannot lose your focus from these particular issues. ये war और ये चीज तो settle हो ही जाएंगे, and it is a good thing that COP27 is again bringing back the focus on climate change. There are other issues that are to be looked into, specifically the technology transfer. Okay, technology transfer का हमारा target है, plus you can say climate funding. Climate funding is still not, you can say, being realized right now. Developed nations, they promise that they will be providing $100 billion, okay, every year to help out the developing nations to adopt good green technologies. But ऐसा हो नहीं रहा है, and specifically at present with the global economy being down, they are coming up with the argument that we don't have money. As simple as that. So we do have to understand their situation as well. Already it is being said that US and the Western economies, they might be touching the recession. That start of recession might be there at the end of this year itself. December end आते आते recession वहाँ शायद start हो सकता है. Okay, so this is the situation right now, and in that situation these things are difficult to facilitate. Okay, so these are the major concerns that are there. ये major concern है. So let's move to the editorial part. सीधा editorial पे चलेंगे. Okay, before moving to the editorial part, there were few things that you should not miss out. Okay, one was related to Neil Kurinji. Okay, so just give me a minute. Yes. Okay, so there was this issue, POXO Act forces Adivasis in Nilgiris into conflict with law. Okay. Now the point is this: there was a couple, a tribal couple, and they were living together, but the girl was not of age 18. Okay, but as per POXO Act, if you go, this is a crime. The point is this: these Adivasis, these tribal people, they have different customs. So we have to be very, you can say, peculiar about these things. You cannot impose your own ideas on them. You have to preserve their culture as well. In their culture, it is allowed. As the girl is reaching the puberty, she is allowed to choose the life partner, and from last 2 years to 1.5 years they were living together. But this became a major issue here. Okay, so ये चल रहा है यहाँ पे, and sometimes this is just one of the example where your law can come in conflict with the cultural practices and ideas of different people in this country. We are a quite diverse nation, so diversity needs to be respected. What we can do is that you need to put in some exceptions that should be there in this POXO Act. वो exception जो है आपको यहाँ mention करना पड़ेगा. For that you need to carry out a proper study that these are the tribes, these their custom is this, and accordingly you have to prepare your POXO Act. Okay, ये update करना ज़रूरी है. Neil Karunji, now this is a flower that is primarily grown in Shola grassland areas. Okay, Nilgiris के around ये होता है, and it is one of the major tourist attraction. It is said that some of the flowers, like they blossom after 12 years. 12 साल बाद ये निकल के आते हैं. Okay, so this was there. Other than that, there is nothing much. कुछ खास नहीं. Okay, so age of minimalism in India Pak ties. This is the editorial that has been published today. So we'll be dealing with this. Now this editorial is pointing towards one thing. They said that at present the interaction between India and Pakistan is at its minimal. We are not interacting with them. Now the point is this, if you are not interacting, if you are not debating, if you are not discussing, forget about resolving your conflicts. बातचीत से ही conflict होती है, और जब तक आप बातचीत नहीं करोगे, the resolution of existing issues can't be facilitated. But there is a reason for that. Thought process of both the countries are different. Specifically in case of India, India's thought has changed. हमें ये लग रहा है कि इनसे बात करके कोई फायदा नहीं है. पाकिस्तान will continue to do what they are doing since independence. वो ऐसा करते ही रहेंगे, and you have to live with that by enhancing your capabilities and punishing Pakistan for anything that it carries out in India. For creation of deterrence, आपको उनको फटकार मारनी पड़ेगी. This is what this editorial is saying, and this is how things have changed in India's calculation. हमें लगता है कि यही तरीका है, प्यार से बात करके देख ली. ट्रेडिशनल थॉट प्रोसेस वाज दैट रेगुलरली यू नीड टू टॉक विद देम, बट इट डिडंट प्रोड्यूस एनी रिजल्ट. उससे कुछ हुआ नहीं. यहाँ पे बातचीत कर करके हमने देख लिया, कोई रिजल्ट नहीं आया, कोई ब्रेक थ्रू नहीं आया. सो दे सेड दैट द थिंग्स, द कैलकुलस इन इंडिया सिक्योरिटी एस्टेब्लिशमेंट हैज चेंज्ड, एंड नाउ दे आर थिंकिंग बात तो करनी नहीं है. If they will do something, then we will punish them. As simple as that for deterrence. So your government is quite clear about it कि आपको थोड़ा आगे aggression दिखाना पड़ेगा. Okay, this is the point. And they said that at present this is sort of a cold peace that is there between two countries. Right now ceasefire violations are also not going on. Ceasefire violation भी नहीं हो रहा है यहाँ पे. Okay, we are respecting that, but it is just a temporary time. This is how the relationship of India and Pakistan has been. There were multiple times where things were at, you can say, the violence was minimal, but it will again start. It's a cyclical thing that had happened multiple times. बहुत बार ऐसे हुआ है और ये आगे भी ऐसा होता रहेगा. Okay, this is the point here. Now they said that India and Pakistan relation today has been reduced to a back channel conversation because your dignitaries are not meeting. आप बात ही नहीं कर रहे हो. And the point is this, government of India is very clear about it that you have multiple power centers in Pakistan. आपको यही नहीं पता असली सरकार किसकी चल रही है. Okay, multiple power centers that are there. Now the point is this, there is government of Pakistan, एक है पाकिस्तान की government. Okay, we recognize the government of Pakistan, but the reality is that Pakistan army is having a major power. सारी ताकत पाकिस्तान आर्मी के हाथ में है. Now we are a democratic country and we will respect, we will negotiate, we will talk only with the democratically elected government of Pakistan. We are quite clear about it. हम चाइना या यूएस की तरह नहीं है who are directly dealing with the generals of Pak army. We are here directly dealing with, we will be ready to deal with government of Pakistan. We will wait for the time that people of Pakistan should realize this, that their support to their Pak army is not taking the country forward. ऐसा होगा, जरूर होगा. And some of the, you can say, things are happening right now as well. The way Imran Khan is getting popularity there and he is directly taking on the military establishment, वैसा हो सकता है. Okay, so it is up to the people of Pakistan to decide. You can only wait and watch. Resolution conflict का दोनों साइडों के मानने से होता है, आपके अकेले चाहने से कुछ नहीं होगा. Okay, this is the point here and this is what we need to understand. So relationship is the history of missed opportunity. There are a lot of, you can say, past in the relationship that we had where we missed the opportunity. We tried multiple times. So during Manmohan Singh and Musharraf, there was a formula called Manmohan Musharraf formula. Okay, तो एक formula निकला था Manmohan Musharraf formula. When we were going ahead with the Kashmir resolution, there were back channel talks, but immediately क्या हो जाता है 26/11. This Manmohan Musharraf formula was mentioned by Shah Mahmood Qureshi, okay, Kasturi, and he was the foreign minister of Pakistan at that time, and he has written this in the book. He said that both the countries were moving ahead and suddenly this happened. So this is the problem with Pakistan. Whenever we tried to establish peace between two countries, like extra forces that are there in Pakistan, they will try to sabotage the peace process. When Modi ji landed in Lahore, few days back there was Pathankot and then there was Pulwama. That's the problem here. Okay, so we have to deal with this type of neighbor who is facing with this problem. There is dual power center and there is, you can say, at both the ends at present it is appearing there is lack of political will. Political will नहीं नजर आती है यहाँ पे. Okay, व्हाट इज दिस 26/11 मुंबई के अंदर टेरर अटैक हुआ था, कसाब आया था, प्रदीप चलिए. सो दिस डिसअपॉइंटमेंट्स हैव लेड टू द रिकॉग्नाइजेशन in New Delhi that making comprehensive peace with Pakistan is fool's errand. Matlab it is not going to take you anywhere, you will be wasting your time. This is quite clear in India's establishment right now. Okay, but iska solution aayega kya? Only the talks can facilitate solution. So we do have one example where we have resolved our issue. One is Indus Water Treaty. Okay, now this Indus Water Treaty, we signed it in 1960. It was able to survive 65 war, 71 war, Kargil war and the present chota mota events. Okay, so we do have this example that if both the countries they have a will, definitely they can do it. अगर वाकई आपकी will है चीज़ों को ठीक करने की तो आप बिल्कुल कर सकते हो, आपके पास ये example है यहाँ पे. But other than that, we haven't resolved any of our bilateral conflicts that are there. Siachen glacier भी हमने नहीं निपटाया. Okay, Sir Creek, that is also a major issue between two countries. Border issue, trade related issue, lot of issues are there and nothing has been resolved. That's the point here. Okay, so other thing is that your government is thinking differently this time. They said that it doesn't require to talk to Pakistan. As we said that Kashmir is an integral part of India and Pakistan cannot dictate terms in Kashmir. Pakistan cannot force India to recognize the importance of Pakistan in dealing with Kashmir. So government is quite clear about this thing. They have this confidence that they don't need Pakistan to establish peace in Kashmir. Shanti apne aap ho jayegi. We do have the capability. You cannot be dependent on your enemy who is the perpetrator of that violence. You are showing your strength that without even Pakistan we will be able to establish peace. Okay, this is the logic that we have here at present. Now both sides are occupied with lot of issues. Pakistan is still like they are handling the Taliban Afghanistan issue and India is busy with aggressive China in the border. Okay, so we are busy right now in other things and categorically we are clear about one thing, that China is a major threat to us, though we do recognize that there is China-Pak nexus and the chance of two-front war is also there. हम टू फ्रंट वॉर के चांस को भी रूल आउट नहीं करते हैं, बट वी आर क्लियर अबाउट दिस थिंग दैट एट प्रेजेंट लुकिंग इनटू द कैपेसिटी दैट वी हैव, चाइना इज अ बिगर थ्रेट टू अस. ओके, दिस इज द पॉइंट हियर. So let's move to next editorial. It is talking about frontliners of the first 1000 days window of life. Okay, see, whenever a child is born, first 1000 days are most crucial, and if you are providing nutritional support during those 1000 days, it can really develop the child, you can say, without any problem, without any disease. This is the important thing that you have to understand. Why I am saying this? Because this is the beginning of growing age, and if the child is having nutritional deficiency at that time, then he is going to face lot of problem. His mental growth might not take place, his body parts might not grow to the full, you can say, ability. This is important here, and that's why first 1000 days are crucial. So we do have a, you can say, functionaries that are on ground, and their role is critical in imbibing, in supporting, in helping the mothers who are, you can say, who have just delivered a child. Not only that, even during the pregnancy as well, you need to provide some support to mother. And I am going to say that in India, like good number of women are anemic. Okay, they are anemic. That's the problem here. Now, if the woman body is not prepared for pregnancy, definitely it will also impact the health of the child as well. बच्चे की child की health के ऊपर भी उसका असर पड़ता है. If woman is not, you can say, woman's body is not prepared for pregnancy. So you have to make sure that the health of woman, that is also crucial here. जो anemic women है, आपको उनको support देना पड़ेगा, and for that as well you need to use the existing systems that are there on ground. This is the important point. Okay, so we do have, you can say, ASHA workers, we do have Anganwadi workers. Take help of them to further reach out to these individuals. Last mile connectivity आप तभी कर सकते हो. You can connect with them, you can to the last mile, to the last person who is there through this network only. We already have this system. this is the time that you have to utilize it. Okay. Now they are saying about this thing that addressing malnutrition is very crucial for the strong foundation of human development. Okay. Maternal nutrition is also very important here, and because if woman's body is not prepared, it is going to have impact on health of the child, and accordingly first 1000 days are most crucial, because if you are providing nutritious food, then the body of that child will be, you can say, growing at the full capacity. This is the important point here. Now there are a lot of things, that lot of schemes that are being run by the government. So you have Poshan Abhiyan, you have like other schemes that were there. Now in Poshan lot of schemes were merged, काफ़ी चीज़ें merge की गई थी. Okay, so these things are already in existence. Now the point is this, you have to just implement them. हमारे यहाँ पे क्या है ना, implementation में problem होती है. Scheme तो हमारे पास बहुत सारी हैं. So these schemes are already in place, you have to just implement them. That's the point here. So you have to work upon major areas, capacity building करनी है आपको, service delivery को improve करना है, community mobilization करना है, participation करना है. Okay, these are the things that are to be facilitated. And as I told you about this thing, we already have a working network of people on the ground. Okay, ASHA workers are there, Anganwadi workers are there. You can take help from school teachers as well. So this is how you have to utilize the existing network that is there. Okay, वो चीज़ आपको यहाँ पे करनी है, and definitely you have to do lot of things. You have to create awareness among the society, among the poorest section of the society. Okay, वो सारी चीज़ें करने की ज़रूरत है. Then only we will be able to deal with this. And the point is this: it is crucial for us in the sense that if your children, they are not fully developed, how will they contribute in the demographic dividend? अगर वो fully developed नहीं है तो demographic dividend में कैसे contribute करेंगे? This is the point here. Okay, so we do have other editorial regarding, you can say, G20 presidency that India is going to hold. So this is saying that right now there are lot of issues that are there. Food security is definitely one of the major issue that India has to take up, because at present you can say inflation is going on. Inflation is high primarily because of Ukraine-Russia crisis. Okay, specifically inflation in the commodities. So commodity prices are quite high at present because Russia, Ukraine, they are a major contributor to wheat, soybean, etc., 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 sunflower, wheat, etc., etc., etc. And this way you can say the prices are increasing. Now you have to understand this thing, what role India can play. See, right now it appears that the world is divided. देखो, एक तरफ रशिया वाले हैं, रशिया चाइना भाई भाई. Okay, and at other end you have US and other भाई भतीजाज जो western countries हैं, UK, France वगैरह वगैरह. So the world appears to be divided at present. Consensus building will be very difficult in this scenario. You will not be able to take out with any action that is conclusive. Conclusive debate facilitate करना, conclusive action निकालना, conclusion निकालना, this is the role that India has to assure. It is really good thing that we do command respect from both the ends. So they will recognize these particular issues, and agenda setting के अंदर India का major role होगा. That's why multiple times it is said that this is an opportunity for India to portray this to the world that India is a significant player in global politics. कि हम global politics में सब बहुत important role play करेंगे. Okay, specifically dealing with these issues, climate change, food security, and all other things. ये इंडिया का यहाँ पे एक तरीके से टेस्ट है. That's the point here. So it is saying that in 2021 there was this Matera declaration that was done. Okay, and that Matera declaration talked about having resilient food supply chains. Global supply chains जो हैं वो disrupt नहीं होनी चाहिए. This is the important point here, and this declaration is quite important at present because of this Ukraine-Russia war, the global supply of food was disrupted. Not only this, even prior to that there was COVID and there were lockdowns at that time as well. The global supply of food was disrupted. So you need to develop that resilience in the global supply chain, and this is the high time that we should come out with something conclusive in G20 कि ऐसा ही कुछ इंडिया के इनिशिएटिव के अंडर आए, so that we can take up these things. So this Matera declaration, it talked about poverty alleviation, food security, sustainable food system to end the hunger, and this can be the priority for us. It talked about assisting the farmers, and India has significant number of farmers as well. So this is a significant thing for us, and this is the time for India that we should really take G20 to realize the goal of Matera Declaration. उस डायरेक्शन में हमें लेके जाना है. दिस इज द पॉइंट हियर. ओके, ये सारी चीजें करनी है हमें, and we can definitely play the important role. Now again, there was this explained column in today's newspaper. Okay, so we covered this, we covered this editorial, and this has also been covered here. Okay, so ये कर लिया हमने, and let's move to the next one. This is the Black Sea Grain Initiative. See, basically what happened due to this Ukraine-Russia war, ships were not allowed to move in the Black Sea area, specifically the Ukrainian transportation ships. Okay, now with the mediation of UN and Turkey, an agreement was, you can say, settled. That was the Black Sea Grain Initiative, that Russia will allow passage to the transport ships of Ukraine which are carrying wheat and other things. It started, but later on Russians complained that Ukrainian navy is using this particular liberty to mobilize the soldiers, and then Russia backed out from that कि भाई हमने तो आपको रास्ता दिया था कि आप अपने wheat को transport करो, in place of that you are using this liberty to move your armed forces, and Russia backed out, and it was a major debate. Okay, but again today it has been said that Russia is rejoining the Black Sea grain deal because it is important. It is important for the global food security. Lot of African nations are dependent on Ukraine and Russia. Wheat that they are getting from Ukraine and Russia, they are dependent on that. They are going to suffer. Already the commodity prices are skyrocketing in the international market. Okay, and with this Black Sea initiative, significant amount of wheat has been transported to the international market. This is the important point here. Okay, so Ukraine is amongst the largest exporter of wheat, maize, rapeseed, sunflower, okay, sunflower oil, etc. And without, you can say, movement of these consignments, these particular, you can say, containers, there is a shortage that the whole world is facing. So it was critical for the whole world that this should be revived, and here it is saying that Russia is rejoining it. So it's a, you can say, breather for the world right now. Okay, this is what it is about. So reservation policy can't continue indefinitely. This is what Supreme Court is saying. So Supreme Court is putting up this argument that initially when this reservation policy was brought as an affirmative action for the SC/ST community, there was a limit to that, and later on it is extended further. इसको extend आगे भी हमने कर दिया, and because it became a political issue, political leaders they take lot of, you can say, benefit out of the reservation debate in this country. Okay, they mobilize the masses for reservation. Then in the that other caste, they were also demanding that they were to be put in the category of backward caste. वैसा start हो गया था. Then the EWS reservation came. This was the whole debate that was going on. But here the Supreme Court is saying that it cannot continue indefinitely. Supreme Court said that the way we have done away with reservation of Anglo-Indians in state legislature and in, you can say, parliament, you have to establish some deadline. इसको लेके आपको कोई ना कोई deadline तो लगानी पड़ेगी. Okay, क्योंकि आपने जब एंग्लो इंडियंस के लिए अरेंजमेंट एंड कर दिया है, that should be, you can say, this signaling that this time we should think about removing the reservation as well. This is what Supreme Court is saying. Okay, so the comments are really very important, and you should be using the example of reservation that has been done away for Anglo Indians. वो चीज आपको यहाँ पे जरूर लिखनी होगी, ठीक है ना? So you should be noting it down. वो बिल्कुल आपको note down करना पड़ेगा. So this is what was there. Okay, so we covered that, and other than that there is nothing much on this page. Okay, आगे देखते हैं. Here also NPR needs to be updated. Okay, so they are talking about National Population Register. They are saying that we need to have correct data, because at present there is no clarity how many Indians are there, and government is saying that if you have correct data, then definitely we can work upon improving the policy making. Okay, because if you are getting correct information, definitely it will improve your policy making. you can specifically address the concerns of the weaker section, the needy. लेकिन needy को पहले identify तो करो. This is what they are saying. Okay, they are saying that lot of things have happened in the country, and this is the time that we should have the correct information about these particular the demographic profile of the country. पूरे country की demographic profile कैसी चल रही है, इसको लेके पूरा data आपके पास होना चाहिए. Accordingly, you can plan your programs and schemes. It's a quite valid argument. Okay, this is how it is, and lot of things have changed over the years. So government is putting up this argument. Other than that, there is nothing much, कुछ खास नहीं इस पेज पे. Okay, so reservation policy cannot continue indefinitely. We have covered that. And Jaishankar to meet Russian ministers on Moscow visit. Okay, so Russia is still going to be an important partner in multiple areas. Regularly we are meeting with them. Okay, a few days back Russian defense minister also came to India. There was some statements made by both the countries. Okay, so this shows Russia is going to remain an important country for us, and we will continue to buy, you can say, oil from Russia, because Russia is giving oil to us at subsidized rate. So there was this data which was saying that in October Russia was the leading supplier to India. Saudi Arabia को पीछे छोड़ के रशिया सबसे ज़्यादा बड़ा supplier था हमें. Okay, so this is important for both the countries, and the point is this: Western countries are not happy with that, because they were saying that Russian oil is being used to fund this war. Ukraine war को fund करने के लिए रशिया तेल बेच के ही पैसे कमा रहा है, and Western countries were putting pressure on us. Okay, this is what the point was, but we categorically stated this to them that we are quite autonomous when it comes to our foreign policy. बिल्कुल autonomy के साथ हम चलेंगे. We cannot be pressurized by anyone. Okay, the whole world has to understand this. This is what the point was. Other than that, we are on highway to climate hell. Okay, this is what we have discussed. So now there is one news that has not been published here. I would like to discuss that with you. See, there are a lot of things that are happening in China right now, in the sense there are reports that were there, okay, specifically in the UK media, that China at present is hiring retired pilots of I5 countries. Okay, now who are these I5 countries? उनके retired pilots को China क्यों ले रहा है? Basically pilots from US, okay, retired pilots from US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. This is what Chinese are doing right now to basically to enhance their preparation. अपनी preparation को enhance करने के लिए Chinese are doing this. Okay, now it should be an eye opener for us as well, because you need to preparing your own armed forces considering these particular developments. Now there are also reports in French media which says that China also hired some 30 French pilots as well. Retired pilots, French 30 pilots were also being hired by China. The problem is this: we are also using the Rafale system. Okay, already got the Rafale, 36 Rafale आ गए हैं, आने वाले हैं, एक दो की delivery हो जाएगी, and already the naval version of Rafale has been shortlisted for Indian Navy and for the new aircraft carrier that we will be operating. तो जो नया aircraft carrier आप बना रहे हो, जो आप operate करोगे, for that we are considering, and consider क्या, we have shortlisted the naval version of Rafale, and here China is hiring the retired pilots from these forces to train the Chinese Air Force, to train the Chinese Air Force. This is the point here. Okay, ये चीज सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी है जो हमें समझनी है, ठीक है ना, ये चीज समझना सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी है हमें. Okay, now these countries are quite concerned about this development. US already have very stringent law, okay, and there was one pilot, ex-US Air Force pilot, who was arrested in Australia. He was running a flying, you can say, business in Australia. Later on it was reported that that pilot went to China and trained the Chinese pilots. So US already had quite stringent laws. Other countries are also thinking about the same. So this is the new interesting development that is taking place regarding these particular countries. Okay, so Pradeep Chaudhary is asking, sir, is it any difference between US and Canada? बहुत ज़्यादा डिफरेंस है यूएस और कनाडा में, दे आर डिफरेंट कंट्रीज, ओके, दिस इज द डिफरेंस, मेजर डिफरेंस है यहाँ पे, ठीक है ना। तो यूएस वॉज प्राइमरली द ब्रिटिश कॉलोनी, कॉलोनी भी नहीं बोलेंगे, ब्रिटिशर्स दे वर देयर इन यूएस, ओके, फ्रेंच वर ऑल्सो प्रेजेंट इन कैनेडा, कैनेडा में फ्रेंच भी थे, बाकी भी थे, ओके, दिस इज द प्राइम मेजर डिफरेंस, and they are different countries, different type of arrangements, different type of polity that they have, okay, so you can google it, you will get the complete information, their flag is also different, उनका flag भी अलग अलग है, आप जाके google कीजिए, सब मिल जाएगा information। चलिए, so let's move to the economy page, and this is the news that we have, single GST rate direct tax exemption will be ideal, okay, so see the point is this, we brought GST with this idea, one nation one tax, but the point is this, instead of having one nation one tax rate, we have multiple GST slabs, बहुत सारे GST slabs आ गए, so it further continued the complexity. The idea of GST was that it is going to simplify the whole process, no doubt relatively it simplified the process, but this complexity still remained. Now this idea is that we should move to forward with one tax rate, सिर्फ एक GST tax rate होना चाहिए पूरे के पूरे economic activity के लिए. Now Australia has just one single arrangement. Other problem with Indian system was that there were lot of exemptions that were given. बहुत सारे exemption हैं जो हमने दिए हैं, and this is the time we should remove these exemptions. Exemptions in the form that like petrol and liquor, they are to be still taxed by the states, okay. So you have to further reduce the complexity, then only you will be able to reap the true benefit of GST arrangement. This GST arrangement has been quite successful in other countries, we need to learn from them, okay, and we should have same sort of ideas in India. So this is what this particular session was about. Thank you very much. So again I am telling you, there is another session that we are conducting, that's a current affairs session that is conducted at 10 AM every day, okay. So you can connect with the management desk, the numbers are quite there on our, you can say, YouTube channel as well, so you can call those numbers, you can connect with the management for the admission related query, okay. So this is what we have for today's session, that's it for the day, thank you very much.